live, pal.
Wait, we're doing this live? What the fuck?
No, we're not. We're not doing this live. This is recorded for your listening pleasures to listen whenever the hell you want to listen to it. So, wrestling,
Yes, sir.
yes. So let's get started with Dynamite,
All right.
and I'm going to start with some breaking news from Fightful. Speedball Mike Bailey is going to AEW.
Oh, I was wondering what the hell did one have to do with the other? Okay.
Yes, Speedball Mike Bailey is going to AEW, according to Fightful. So, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think the perfect place for him was Impact. I mean, he's like a smaller guy and whatever. I don't see him as a world champion anywhere. Like the X Division title was perfect for him. Similar to like a cruiserweight title, but no one else seems to have a title like that. So
Yeah, the only thing is like I actually love Speedball's wrestling,
yes.
and he's gonna fit in perfectly with AEW. That's one. He's gonna get
Okay.
over really big in AEW. I just because like okay, there are people who come in AEW and immediately it's like, oh my God, this person's here, and then they immediately get lost in the shuffle, and you're like, they're just background characters.
Yes.
And that's what bothers me a lot about AEW is like they grab somebody and then it's like, okay, wow, this person is here, and then the next thing you know, they're background characters and they're just a normal person when they're supposed to be like this larger than life figure. It's like they just turn into a normal fucking person, and I don't like that. It's like you have so many guys that are like really special, and you don't present them as special. They just get lost in the shuffle, and it's like, ha, this guy showed up at AEW. 2 weeks later, it's like, okay, now what?
Where's
And I
he
know some
at?
people, yeah, I know some people be like, well, like they have to figure out how to fit them in. And it's not only AEW, it's also WWE too. Like,
Yep. Yep.
you, like, sometimes when you bring certain people in, you're just like, hey, we got this guy. And then they just feel like normal. They just feel like a normal fucking person. And you're like, oh, well, that was much to do about nothing. And that's what's going to happen to Speedball. Like, this is what you're going to hear about Speedball when he comes in. You're going to be like, "Oh my God, he's one of the like best wrestlers," and which is true. And
Yes.
then the next thing you know, he's just going to disappear into nothingness. And only when the pay-per-view show up, you're going to be like, "Oh shit, I forgot Speedball Mike Bailey was as good." And it's like he wrestles every other week. Yeah, but it's the pay-per-view, and he fucking blew the. Yeah, because that's how it is in AEW. You just show up. You show up at the pay per view, you're like hot, and then after that, you just background. I don't like that.
Because they have a lot of good talent, which after a while I forget that are real good. Shane Taylor, for example, they need to use him more.
Yeah, it's like so many people, and I don't want to say, oh, they have a crowded roster. It's not even a crowded roster. It's you don't utilize some people very well.
Yeah.
Like both companies have this problem, and I'm going to point out both of them because we're going to cover Raw and Dynamite. I'm going to point out how they just like fail to use these people. The only place that like I've seen grab somebody and say, "Hey, we got this person," and has slotted them in a great way is NXT. Like NXT has been the place where you're like, "Oh, this person's going to NXT," and everybody's like, "Oh, that's developmental. That's this. That's that." And then you watch NXT and they're literally presenting everybody that they've grabbed in a very important way. And you're like, oh, well, that's weird. You watch Raw and be like, oh, they grabbed so and so. They're on Raw. And it's just like, oh, they're a background character. AEW, they're a background character. It's it's just something that is weird to me. I don't like it.
It's mind-boggling because for all intents and purposes, NXT is kind of sort of, I don't want to like say all the way a development company. So for them to fucking do it is weird because why can't the top level do it? You know? It's the same
Exactly.
shit. NXT is WWE, so why can't, like it doesn't, the math ain't mathing. Put it that way.
Yeah, because like NXT is just like its own special thing. We're gonna get to that later in the show, but it's like its own special realm, and it just
Yeah.
like works so perfectly. And everything else just falls by the wayside because it's just like, eh, we tried, but we don't know what to do. And it's like, what? Like, it's not that hard.
Like, tell me this, sidebar, right? If NXT separated itself from WWE, do you think it would have survived? I think
No, fuck
so.
no, fuck no, fuck
Hmm?
no, no.
You don't think
Mm-mm.
so? I think so.
No, it wouldn't. Because
Okay.
like it needs all of the money and all of the power that WWE has to do what they do.
Well, yeah,
So
there's that.
that's why, like, if it was just like some brand out there, like if NXT was its own thing before WWE and it was just like it existed and it had everything that it has now, it would probably be the number two company. Like there
Yeah,
would be no shot that anybody else would go against it. It would be the number two company. But since it's
yeah,
WWE, it has everything it has, but also being labeled as leeching off of WWE.
yeah.
Like
I,
that's the only thing. Like if it existed before WWE, I'd be like, yeah, no, it can stand on its own. But because it's a WWE product, it's like they wouldn't have these things unless they had WWE.
okay.
So Dynamite. Dynamite started out with Christian Cage and the patriarchy coming out. This, like, a lot of people didn't notice this small little thing, and I noticed it, and I was like, wait a minute, that was fucking weird. Because the patriarchy is coming out. So Christian, Mother Wayne, and Nick Wayne are coming out, and then Skip Sabian comes out with them. So Skip Sabian walks over close to Nick Wayne, and Nick Wayne just kind of shoves him and just like, get the fuck away from me. And like he just like he goes over to the other side, and I was like, that didn't happen, did it? So I had to rewind it just to make sure that happened. I was like, why didn't nobody bring that up? That was so weird.
Basically, he's the bastard child.
Yeah, it just felt so weird because like they're beefing and nobody is talking about their beefing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's weird. So Christian wound up teaming up with Hangman, and I have to bring this up, and I swear to God, nobody else has brought this up. But if you ever fucking sit down and take a second, you would be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? You know, Hangman has new music. Well, not new music, it's been new music for a while,
Yeah.
but his new Hangman music, if you ever listen to the beginning of his music and then listen to the Bang Bang Gang's music, not the Switchblade music, but the Bang Bang Gang when it's all four of them,
Hmm.
it's the exact opening. Like it's the exact same thing. There's no difference. It's the exact same thing. And I was like, because when Hangman came out, I was like, that's the Bang Bang Gang's theme. And I went like immediately, I just went to Spotify. I was like, all right, where's the Bang Bang Gang's theme? And I played it and I listened to it while I was listening to Hangman's. I'm like, this is the same exact opening. There's like no difference here. And I'm like, that's that's bad. That's really fucking bad.
Thank God you said that because like I thought the same thing. I thought I was going crazy.
No, it's the same music. I was like, what the fuck? Like this is bad. But Christian Cage and Hangman fought Jay White and Juice. And they're having this match, and it's like somebody said was like, well, why is Christian in this match? And I was like, what do you mean why is Christian in this match? This all started through Christian and like he's like been part like he's been part of this whole feud. Like, what do you mean? Like, I swear to God, it's something that like a lot of people have started to talk about with AEW is they don't beat stuff into your head to make you remember, but they think that you're just like a true wrestling fan where you remember shit and that's why like they don't beat you in the head with it. They're like, no, 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 you remember. So I'm not gonna beat you in the head with it. But it's like some people don't. Like I've seen so many people on Twitter just going, why is Christian associated with this? I'm like, dog, like this whole thing started because of the Christian thing. Like Jay White screwed Hangman, and like it all connects through Christian. Like this isn't like just some random thing. Like this, it all is connected. Like what are you talking about?
To be honest, before you said any of that, I didn't
Hmm.
remember my damn self. So
See, it's like that's what AEW needs to do because they didn't talk about it on commentary. Like, oh, this is why Christian is involved. They just said, "Oh, this is a match and it's happening," and they just kept talking about how Hangman and Jay White are going to have a pay-per-view match. That's all they kept bringing up. They didn't
yeah,
do any of the, "Oh, this is why." I'm like, okay. So like in the middle of the match, Nick Wayne gets taken out by fucking Hook. Hook just takes him out, and Skip is just looking, and he didn't do shit. He just looked
that's
like
kind of a callback for what you said earlier, though. Like, push me, motherfucker. Like, yeah, now you need me.
exactly. So I can't wait to see how they implode because I know that they're going to implode and something's going to happen. So I want to
Yeah,
see what happens to like bring them to an implosion. Like, cause they just got together, but I feel like the implosion is going to be something where Christian is going to pick Skip over Nick, and it's going to be weird.
I could honestly see that because like the same thing happened between Nick and Killswitch and whatever. Killswitch was the favorite at one point,
Hmm.
and then he turned on him. So yeah,
So Hangman pins Juice to get the win. So that's that's a thing. And
hey, wait.
yeah, so then we see Mercedes Monet, and she comes in with Camille, who has an injured arm because it got slammed in a car door last week by Chris Statlander. So Mercedes tells Camille to put her jacket in the room. She's yelling at Camille and she's angry at Camille. They're going to break up. I
Yes,
don't understand. I don't understand this at all.
like
Like
they
you put
just
them
put
to,
them together.
exactly. It's like they didn't even have time to gel, and you're like, no, we're gonna break them apart already.
Makes
It's
no
so
sense.
none at all. So as this is going down, Chris Statlander is just standing there, and Chris Statlander just attacks Mercedes, beats the shit out of her. Camille comes in to help. They both get speared through a wall, and now Mercedes and Camille are laid out thanks to Chris Statlander.
I don't like how they're doing Camille. Like they're making her kind of like useless. Like
Like,
she's fucking up a lot.
okay, so here's where I see it going, but I swear to God, if they go this way, I'm gonna be pissed because it's literally verbatim what you just did with Mariah May. Because they're gonna make her turn on Mercedes, beat Mercedes for the championship, and it's like that's the same shit you did to Mariah May.
Yeah,
Like that's so dumb. Like that's so fucking dumb. So it is what it is. So
yeah.
then we had a Will Ospreay promo, and this was like I noticed this when Will first came out because Will had one of his arms in his pocket, like he had his I think it was his right arm in his pocket, and he kept it there for a while, and then he went in the ring and he grabbed the mic from Tony, but I was saying that was weird because like sometimes he usually has both hands in the pockets and like just has one hand. It's not unusual, but for some reason I noticed this immediately. I was like, that's weird. And then he went into his promo and called out Kyle Fletcher and said, Kyle, after you hit me with the Tiger Driver, I felt numbness in my hand. I couldn't even feel my son holding my hand. And I was like, oh, so he's playing up the his arm is injured.
Yeah, that was a nice like bit of storytelling there with that.
I mean, so Will talks about how they're best friends and like know my missus, you know my kid, you picked them up from school with me. We're like best friends. What do you want? He's like, what do you want? And then Kyle Fletcher says, I want a match at the pay-per-view. And then he starts breaking it down, and this is so fucking hilarious because he starts breaking down the stuff about how Kyle Fletcher keeps saying he doesn't want to be like Will Ospreay, and then Will just points out everything and is like, "Bro, you're exactly like me. You're doing exactly what I did. How are you not trying to be like me?" And I'm like, and it was so funny because even Kyle's face was like, "Fuck, you're right."
He's got you
It,
there.
yeah, it was funny because it's like we pointed it out was like he's doing the same exact thing, and it's like, yeah, Will just pointed it out too. And it's like, yeah, see, like it's the same shit. It
And what
was
I say
fucked up.
when he cut his hair, when it grows out, he's gonna start looking like Will a little bit because the hair color. What
Yep,
happened? At least to me, I don't know to you. He looks slightly like him.
he does, and like it's weird. Like this is a weird storyline to me. I don't like it because like I don't like to see them fight. They're gonna have a banger match, but I don't like it. Like I just don't want. Like I don't want Ozzy Open to break up. I don't want Kyle Fletcher beefing with Will, and that that's what I don't want. So all of a sudden they bring up the Don Callis family, and of course Kyle Fletcher calls them out, but Will has backup, which is Will Hobbs and Mark Davis. So this is a nice thing that I actually like about what AEW keeps doing because they've done this for a couple weeks. They'll have two storylines cross over because Lance Archer was out there, and Lance Archer had a match with Roderick Strong, a Falls Count Anywhere match. Roderick Strong came out and just started beating the shit out of Lance Archer. And in the dumbest bit of AEW television, they're fighting in the back. And if you don't have good eyes, you can't see shit. Lance Archer choke slams Roderick Strong through a table, and there's no lights back there. They finally get a light on, but Roderick Strong is already through the table, and Bryce Remsburg, not Bryce Remsburg, the good referee is already making a count. Like he's already making a count, and you're like, what the fuck? Like what happened? If you, like I said, if you didn't have good eyes, you wouldn't see shit. It was like, oh shit,
You're not wrong, but the good referee.
yeah. Because I hate the other bald referee. And I think his name is Bryce Remsburg. I hate that
I
guy.
think so. Yeah.
So Lance Archer beats the shit out of Roderick Strong. They get in the ring. He hits him. Roderick Strong hits him with everything, and he hits his knee. In one, two, three, Roderick Strong pins Lance Archer. So after he pins Lance Archer, boom, he gets attacked by Takeshita. So Takeshita has a match with Adam Cole. So Adam Cole comes out, and they just start the match. And this is good because it keeps you locked in. It keeps you from going, oh, I'm going to turn the channel because at the end of the match, it goes right into another match and everything is consistent. And it's like, okay, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
So like that's good for people who are just like get ADD really quick and it's like, yo, I want to turn because if everything is so interweaving, you can't turn because there's no time for you to turn. Because it's like literally like boom, 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 boom. You're going into the next thing, and it's like that is actually good for like certain people because it's like, oh, I want to turn the TV because I'm bored, but you're locked in because you don't know when it stops.
Okay.
So then Adam Cole loses to Takeshita because I was wondering how this was going to go because Takeshita is international champion. So if he would have lost to Adam Cole, he would have had to defend the championship, and also he would have been looking like a loser.
Yep.
So because of MJF's shiny diamond ring knocking out Adam Cole loses. So now It's Roderick Strong versus MJF at Full Gear.
I was a little bit weirded out about it, but like as you pointed out, like it would make Takeshita look bad, so it's okay.
Yes. So after the match, Roderick Strong came to help Adam Cole. So he comes down. Takeshita beats the shit out of him, and Kyle O'Reilly comes down for the save. So when Kyle O'Reilly comes down for the save, he runs off Takeshita. He helps up Roderick Strong, and he gives Roderick Strong a hug. Roderick Strong helps up Adam Cole. So when he helps up Cole, Kyle O'Reilly looks at him, and Kyle O'Reilly just walks away. So while that's happening, hear me out. While that's happening, Takeshita gets beat up by Ricochet.
Yep.
So all of this shit is going on at one time, and it weirds me out because this is what I feel is going to happen because the pay per view isn't too far off. The pay per view isn't like, oh, it's week off or 2 weeks off. The pay per view
Something like
isn't
that.
too far off.
Yeah.
I think that Kyle O'Reilly is going to wind up fighting Adam Cole.
I mean, there's no choice now because Adam Cole can't fight MJF now because he lost.
Yeah, and I
Might
feel
as well
like
do it.
that's how they're going to rekindle their friendship. And it's like, all right, I got to beat your ass to make you a friend again.
Yeah.
So the MWO show up and they pull up in a truck. So that was that. Then we have the Hurt Syndicate, and they're back getting interviewed by Renee, and they start talking about how Bobby is going to stretch Swerve out, and tonight Leo Rush is going to beat Swerve, and it's like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Beef just gets his ass beat by Wheeler Yuta. Beef gets his ass beat by Wheeler Yuta and Claudio, and then Mox comes out with Marina Shafir. I have
That was
one
really
huge gripe
random.
about this.
What?
It was very random, but I have one huge gripe about this. So on Twitter, the whole week leading up to Dynamite, John Moxley is going to seize the superstation. John Moxley is going to seize the superstation. John Moxley is going to seize the superstation. That's what was said. John Moxley is going to seize the superstation. John Moxley is going to seize the superstation. That's exactly what was said. Everything he did in this promo and said was not seizing the superstation. It just was a thing.
He didn't do a damn thing but beat dude up.
Exactly. So Orange Cassidy comes out and says, listen, he's like, you guys keep talking about playing chess or whatever. I'm going to take the pawn off the board. I'm going to beat Wheeler Yuta. You guys talk about wrestling and how much you love wrestling. Moxley, you haven't done any wrestling. The last time I wrestled you, I beat you. So that's what I'm going to do again. I'm going to beat you and become the AEW World Champion. Now, here's the weird part. While Orange Cassidy is doing this, I went on my phone. Like, he's cutting his promo. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but I went on my phone and I started to look down, and he's cutting this promo, and like I'm hearing his voice, but I'm like, I know Orange Cassidy's talking right now. Did Kenny Omega come out and start talking because they have the same exact voice? And I
No.
looked up and I'm looking at Orange Cassidy. I'm like, dude, when you talk regular, you sound exactly like Kenny Omega. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It was so weird.
Yeah, he
So
do kind of sound like him. He also sounded like Drew Gulak, but yeah.
yeah. So then the conglomeration fights the MWO, and Moxley and them try to leave, and they kept focusing on this doorway where Moxley and them was leaving, and my mind was like, it'd be funny if Darby Allin just jumped off the thing onto them, and that's exactly what happened. Darby jumped off the balcony onto them. So They get beat up and they run off to get in the car. They leave Willa Yuta behind. So all of a sudden they're about to drive off. Darby Allin just jumps in the back of the car. So they stop the car. He just starts beating the shit out of Claudio. Claudio fucks him up, spins him into the door, just fucks him up and leaves him laying. And then Wheeler Yuta jumps in the car. It's like, okay, guys, let's go. It's like, bitch, they were gonna leave you. What do you mean, let's go?
They don't give a fuck about you, son.
Exactly. It was fucking hilarious. So then we had a Chris Jericho promo, and he said he was gonna face Ishii, which I I don't care. I like Ishii, but I hate Chris Jericho.
Fuck them.
And yeah. So then we have DMD, Britt Baker. So Britt Baker comes out and she faces Penelope Ford, which amazingly Penelope Ford has gotten better, or I forgot how good she was.
Yeah.
So Britt Baker wins. She puts the lockjaw on Penelope Ford. I like the way she got into it because Penelope had her in a move and Britt just stuck her fingers in Penelope's throat and then she transitioned into a lockjaw and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
It
So
was
after the
the
match,
Mudalock, wasn't it?
yes, that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
So after the match, Britt Baker's standing there and Serena Deeb comes out and I'm like, they wrestled already. What is happening? They like the last time Britt was here, they had a match. Like it was kind of a feud. Like this was a thing. And apparently Serena Deeb wants to face Britt Baker. I'm like, dude, y'all just had a feud. Like there's so many other women in this division. Let's do something different.
They forgot.
Uh, Yeah. So then we had Mina Shirakawa and Renee is asking her, it's like, hey, like, what are you gonna do? Like, she's like, yeah, I'm here because of Mariah May, and I'm gonna watch her match on Collision. So all of a sudden, Harley Cameron comes out, and Harley just starts talking weird Harley shit. So her and Mina start going back and forth, and she said, "We're going to have a tit off," and they start shaking their chests, and they're gonna wrestle on Collision. And Renee had to bring it back and was like, "All right, guys, calm down." It's like, oh shit,
He got pissed.
that was funny. So then we had Swerve versus Leo Rush. And if you look at Leo Rush's gear, it's Blackheart gear. So this is leading me to think, especially because after what he tweeted after this match, I'm like, yeah, like you're definitely with the Hurt Syndicate. Like you're 100% with the Hurt Syndicate. Because after this match, like what happened and what he tweeted and how things played out, I was like, yep, that makes sense.
I didn't even think about the black card thing. I just
Hmm.
purely look at the colors because those are their colors, black and gold.
Exactly, exactly. So, what did you think of this match? Because yeah, what did you think of this match?
It was good. Like if I had to rate it, I'd give it probably like an 8.
Yeah, a lot of people really like this match,
Yeah.
and Swerve beat Leo Rush, and then after the match, the Hurt Syndicate came out, and they just start beating the shit out of Swerve. They beat the shit out of Nana, and if you
I didn't like
look,
that part.
Leo, yeah, they fucked him up. So Leo Rush is in the corner, like in the back corner, just looking at all of this. And then Leo Rush tweeted was like, "Yeah, this was none of my business." And it's like, okay, like why did you say business? Like, like I know it's like a saying, like, oh, that's a saying. No, no, no. This felt more of a poke at, yeah, I'm part of the Hurt business.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where
it
it's
was.
coming from.
So yeah, I was like, this like there was a reason he said that. So Then we had something that I was trying to figure out what was going on because she was cutting this promo because it was Jamie Hayter. And Jamie Hayter started cutting this promo and she was talking about the women's division. And I'm like, where the fuck does this go? Like, who does she face? And like, she's talking and then it just goes black. And then it's another Julia Hart promo.
Are they
Dude,
feuding?
yes. Like,
Okay.
because Jamie Hayter didn't finish what she was saying. And this Julia Hart promo was so like it was a video package, but it was so good. She gets
Yeah.
a phone call and she's talking to her other self, but the phone isn't connected to shit. And she's like, she realizes it. She still has blood from getting shot. So she gets up, wipes her face. There's a red light. She opens her I don't even know what you call closet. And then somebody hands her a bow and arrow and hands her the hat. And I'm like, oh, this is like I know exactly where this is going because I've watched so many movies and dumb shit that I'm like, I know exactly what's happening.
Is
She
she like an
turns her
infinity loop?
yes, that's exactly what this is. This is exactly what this is. I was like, oh shit, like she was the one who shot herself because she told herself to do it, and that's how this whole thing works. Got it.
Okay.
So then we had the main event, which was the House of Black, the Kings of the Black Throne, to be exact, versus FTR. And boy, was this a good match.
It was.
So the thing that actually shocked me, it shocked me because I'm like, I know exactly where this is going. This is going the way I think it's gonna go. FTR is gonna get the win. FTR is gonna win. FTR loses to the House of Black.
That shocked me.
That shocked the shit out of me too. So after the match, they all shook hands.
So House of Black are good? Like they've been kind of good for like the longest now, so I guess they're good.
Yeah, like I think they're officially good now because they shook their hands and like they wasn't like trying to get away or anything. They was like, no, come on, shake my hand. They even helped FTR up after the match. They helped them up because they choked like Brody choked out in the sleeper Dax. Dax was done.
Yeah.
And he helped them up and they all shook hands. And it was like, oh shit, like they're good guys. Okay.
I'm calling
So
it now. I think they might win the titles.
I don't want them to win the titles. Like I don't want them to win the titles because I don't feel like they are the tag team.
Okay.
Like so then we have Monday Night Raw. And they did a double tape, and we're not going to spoil the second tape, but they did a double taping. And in the beginning, like before the show went on the air, because they were already taping, some of my friends immediately were jumping online going, oh, the spoiler is real. This happened. This happened. Wow, this is crazy. This happened. And I'm like, huh. Something seemed off to me. Something seemed off to me because it was like one of my friends who was like a big fan of this person was like, "Oh, this happened," and was like super shocked and like, "Yeah, see, guys, I told you," and talking all this shit. And then like 30 other people were jumping on this same thing. And to me, I kept saying in my mind, I was like, something feels off because like the stuff that they were taping, it felt like they were taping 20 to 30 minutes before what you've seen on TV. It wasn't like a big stretch. And this was like an hour before the show came on. And I was like, something seems off here. And I kept saying that in my head was like, something seems off here. And I was like, okay, something feels off. And later on, like right before the ending of the show, I was like, I knew something was off. I was like, I knew something was off. And especially at the end of the match, I was like, I knew something was off. People just jumped the gun with something that they heard. I'll spoil it later because it's not like a spoiler. It all happened on this show, but it was funny how like misinformation immediately flooded the airwaves, and everybody thought this thing was real, and we find out it's not, and it was way off. So we have Gunther come out, and Gunther cuts a promo on Damian Priest. So Priest comes out, and they're having it back and forth, and is it me or is Gunther actually slowly morphing into a good guy?
I I've noticed that, and I've heard other people had that same sentiment. So I'm gonna say yes. Meanwhile, you have Ludwig like a heel, so I wonder if they're breaking up.
I don't know if they're breaking up, but I feel like it's either this is what they're gonna do. Either Gunther is gonna slowly transition into a bigger face, or Ludwig is going to turn him into a destructive monster worse than anything that we've ever seen before. It's gonna be even one of those two. I don't see them breaking up because I feel like Ludwig is either going to go good with him if he goes fully good, but if he goes truly bad, he's going to beat the shit out of everyone worse than he's already done.
That's saying something. The chops alone.
Yes. So Damian Priest basically told Gunther that your confidence is broken because you lost to Cody Rhodes, because you got pinned and you don't feel like you should, like you're the you that you should be. And I was like, that makes sense. Like he feels like I'm not the invincible monster. I lost. I lost to Cody Rhodes in a match I should have won. I lost, and that's a little bit of shaking his confidence. So
Finally, because
I'm
he's always confident.
yes, but I feel like that's what's gonna make him this inevitable monster because he's gonna realize that was just a one-off. It's not that bad, and he's going to fucking flip out.
Yeah.
So Damian Priest beats up Ludwig. Gunther doesn't do anything. So that was a thing. So then we had damage control with Dakota Kai returning.
Yay! God,
Yes,
she's tall compared to them.
yes, she is. And the funny part, like that was also spoiled, but that's when I knew that big, the big spoiler wasn't real because that was spoiled 30 minutes before the show. And I was like, if this is the first match, the match that you guys are talking about, you've seen a spoiler for, doesn't happen till later on.
Yeah.
So you're wrong. So then we have a backstage thing. And not a lot of people notice this. And I don't even know if this was done on purpose, but I think it was. So Kofi's talking to R-Truth about how he came out and helped them, and like we sticking together because we love you. And Woods is kind of crazy. But here's a little weird thing that a lot of people didn't notice. Kofi had a Majin chain, and if you know anything about Dragon Ball Z, Majin, the symbol, it kind of turns you into a bad guy.
All in it.
So then Woods comes up with a great shirt because he had a Bartender Cabron shirt just to just to show love to him, and he's just talking and like, yo, what are y'all talking about? Why are y'all making me the bad guy? And then all of a sudden, Pete Dunne comes out, and Truth and Pete Dunne go back and forth, and then it winds up Kofi just gets in between Pete Dunne and Truth and was like, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass. So Pete Dunne and Kofi is set up for later, and Xavier doesn't like that.
I'm with X.
So then we had Damage Control versus PFC, and Damage Control gets the win. I'm glad that they start calling them PFC instead of the Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah,
I
way
swear to God,
better.
whoever came up with that name needs to go back to the school. Because why did you make that name? You need to have a cool name where the fans are into it and they like it. So then we had a backstage thing with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. And this is where we find out it's a 5-on-5. Why? Why? Why?
They add two more Samoans.
Uh, there's spoilers out,
I know.
and no, no,
I
no,
just
no.
said
I know. I'm no. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain because I'm not gonna go into the spoilers until
okay.
next week.
All right.
But there's a lot of people who are angry at the selection, and I'm just like, you do know that this all makes sense. And there's a lot of people that are like, no, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I'm like, guys, I'm just gonna tell you now, there's a connection. And they're like, no, 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 none of this makes sense. And I'm like, when you figure out the connections, you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm kind of upset. Yeah, you're gonna be kind of upset because you're gonna be mad that you're like, you didn't see it coming. And it's like, yeah, no, there's connections there. Like everything about this is like, because when I seen it at first, the first thing was like, well, I mean, that makes sense. And then the second thing was like, well, there's going to be a lot of people upset about this, but that also makes sense. That makes a lot more sense than a lot of people know. And like a lot of them are going to be like, nah. Once they hear it, they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? That's all they're going to say is like, yeah, you know what? And be like, yeah, like, you know what? So then we had Kofi versus Pete Dunne. They're going back and forth, and Kofi has Pete Dunne down. He has Pete Dunne down, but him and Xavier Woods gets into an argument, and that leads to Pete Dunne beating Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like they either both going heel or they're finally breaking up. It's weird.
And the funny part about this was like Joe Tessitore kept saying on commentary multiple times, they're going to do the New Day big 10-year anniversary in a few weeks. They're going to do the 10-year anniversary in a few weeks. They're going to do the 10-year anniversary in a few weeks. He kept bringing it up. And I'm like, yeah, like I got a feeling Big E's showing up.
Yep.
So then we have the Judgment Day in the back, and they're going back and forth. And Finn is mad at Dom, and he's like, "Yo, why don't you step up for us?" So Dom basically says, "Yo," he was like, "I don't know why you still got beef with Priest. I'm the only one that beat him." And he was like, "Ooh." So then Finn basically tells Dom that him and Carlito should face the War Raiders to soften them up for Finn and JD. So this whole thing looks like a breakup, but it's not a breakup.
Like I'm surprised Carlito's still there after all
Yeah,
the
like
rumors and shit.
now I have a feeling like he's not going to be there for long.
Oh, okay.
So then we see Bronson Reed coming out, but in the background, Jay Uso is talking to Rey Mysterio, and Jay was trying to recruit Rey for the Bloodline War Games. I was like, ah, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, not really, but it's just me saying it's kind of cool.
If Ray's in it, they lose automatically. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
So big Bronson Reed comes out and he's calling out Seth. Seth comes out. They get in this big brawl. And I was like, okay. So then Pierce separates them, but we find out later on that they're going to have a match next week. So Pierce is talking to Seth Rollins. They give him a match. And then Sami Zayn comes up to Seth and was like, yo, I want you in War Games. And Sammy's like, I mean, Seth's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? He was like, yo, you know Roman. You know everything about Roman. It would be right if you teamed up. And he's like, dude, I said I would never step in a ring with Roman unless I'm fighting him. He's like, I want nothing to do with that guy. And he just walks off. And I was like, hmm, hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting, especially what happened later on. It was like, that's definitely interesting. That's definitely kind of interesting. So Damian Priest comes out with his new music played by one of the guitarists of Slasher.
Oh
That's
shit.
that's actually really fucking cool. And that was awesome. So he takes on Ludwig Kaiser. And of course he beats Ludwig Kaiser because Priest is going to face Gunther at Survivor Series. So yeah, that
Makes
rules
sense.
out that rules out the CM Punk match.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then they show a speed match between Braun Breaker and Sheamus that didn't end because they went over the 3 minutes and they had a time limit draw. So Sheamus runs into Braun Breaker and he says, "Yo, if we didn't have a 10-minute draw, I mean the 3 minute draw, I would have beat you. I'd have beat the shit out of you, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you." And he says, "You know what? You never had the IC title. I'll put it on the line next week. How about me and you for the IC title?" So Sheamus walks away, but then Jimmy walks up and says, "Hey, Braun, let me holler at you for a minute." So Jimmy was trying to recruit Braun Breaker for War Games.
If either team got Braun, they automatically win.
Yes, because that would have been real cool if he would have recruited Braun for the thing.
Yeah. Now, question about the
So
speed thing. Is that the
mhm,
first time they got a draw on those
I don't
matches?
think
I believe so.
I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
think so.
okay.
I don't keep up with speed, but I don't think so. I think this was the second one, so it is what it is.
Cool.
So then we had the Final Testament yelling at Miz. Miz was like, "I'm scared. I was scared of the Wyatts," and they drag Miz out to the ring to crucify him. So Miz goes out to the ring with the Final Testament. They throwing him around, and then the Wyatts come up, and the Wyatts show up, and the Miz is all scared. They get in the ring, and Miz hits one of the Wyatts with a chair. They all start a brawl, and the Wyatts get beat down by the Final Testament. The
He
whole
hit
Final
Eric
Testament, mind you.
Rowan? Why did it have to be Eric Rowan? Like that's the biggest one there. Like why would you fuck with him out of all of them?
I mean, why not take down the biggest one of them all?
Cause you're the Miz.
But you have to take down the biggest guy who could take down your whole team in one swoop. You chop down the biggest guy, you take out the biggest threat. That makes sense.
It does, but Miz is gonna get killed.
And I actually hope they do a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 with the Wyatts in the Final Testament.
Yes.
So Seth is leaving, and Seth runs into Solo and Jacob and the rest of the new bloodline. And they're recruiting Seth Rollins for their team at War Games. And Seth's like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting into your family bullshit. I want nothing to do with Roman. He's like, nah, fuck this. and then we have a stare down between Seth and Jacob Fatu.
That's gonna be a
Mm,
banker if it happens,
dude, they keep teasing us with all these Jacob Fatu matches. Mm, this is looking great.
right?
So then we have the main event. This was the thing that got fake spoiled because there was a picture going around that everybody was claiming, oh, Liv Morgan won the women's tag team titles. And all of her fans were celebrating and they were so happy. And I knew it. I was like, yeah, this didn't happen. Because they had a picture of like her and Raquel with the tag titles. I'm like, this didn't happen. This is old. Like somebody just fucking around. Like this didn't happen. And it didn't happen because Jade and Bianca wound up beating Liv and Raquel, but not without Nia and Tiffany Stratton showing up and getting into the match.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming, but then after the match, after Jade and Bianca won, Tiffany, Nia, Liv, and Raquel were beating up Jade and Bianca. But then Naomi came out to help. And then Io Sky came out to help. So they ran off them and set up a maybe possible War Games.
yeah, that's what I thought at that moment.
Like, to be honest, so Steve from Going In Raw pitched this, and I do like this better. Instead of doing a women's War Games match, why don't they just do a 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match? And I'm like, you know what? I would like that even more.
We need that, like somewhere on this pay-per-view. We need a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match.
Dude, I think they should do it with the wives in the Final Testament, and I think they should do it with the women. Like with all these
Yeah,
women, like you would have so much fun if you just did 5-on-5 traditional matches instead of doing the whole, oh, we're gonna do women's war games and the men's war games. Just how about we just do traditional Survivor Series matches? Like you'll get a lot more people on the card. Plus, it'll be fun because not a lot of people are used to these matches, and they'll be like, "Oh shit! Like this is pretty cool."
a lot of people don't remember them at that.
Exactly. I would love that. I would love that.
Same.
And like, there's spoilers for the fifth member of both women's teams, and the one, I mean, they both make sense. They both make sense. I was shocked at the one, but like both of the members make sense.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's the Raw. So NXT, they started off with a review of NXT ECW. And speaking of ECW, which I forgot to mention in the AEW thing, so Tony Khan purchased the rights to a song that he will be using at Full Gear. And I I hate the internet sometimes because of the way that they reacted to the song. And I know some people just reacted because, oh, it's Tony Khan and he's just tweeting out stuff. But he purchased the right to Guns N' Roses' November Rain. And there was a lot of people was like, oh, that's stupid. Why did you get the rights to that song? Why did you use that song? Like, oh, that kind of sucks. And I'm just like, you people don't know the significance of November Rain. You don't you don't know that, do you?
they don't.
And it kind of pissed me off because like I seen a lot of people going like, oh, that doesn't make sense. That's really dumb. And I'm like, y'all don't know the significance to that. And so the thing that actually like I started to look into and I didn't notice some of the stuff that's going on in AEW for the next couple of weeks is titled November to Remember. And I was like, I don't know if that's legally okay. Because if last time I checked, WWE owned all the ECW stuff, right?
Yep. Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because like when I seen that, I was like, wait a minute, WWE owns most of that shit. What the fuck is going on here? And so for the people who are wondering about the November Rain thing, the November Rain thing is a song that used to be played in ECW when they were leading up to November to Remember. That was the song that was played, November Rain
Yeah.
by Guns N' Roses. So I know why Tony got that because Tony is a huge fan of ECW, and that was a thing. He said that they're going to be doing video packages to that song, and it's like, yeah, no, that's totally right up your wheelhouse. Like, you are an ECW child, just like we are. We know exactly the significance of that song. We know, and it makes sense. And it's just like, yeah, I fucks with that.
Isn't his lore ECW is what got him into wrestling to begin with? Like that was one of his first matches that he watched?
Yes, yep, that was it. Like that was one of the first shows he went to was ECW, and it's like, yeah, no, this makes perfect sense. I don't have a problem with it. I just have a problem with the internet who had no idea the significance of that.
Yeah.
Because it was funny because like he tweeted it out like late at night, and I was scrolling and I literally seen it and it was like Guns N' Roses, like he's like it just said Guns N' Roses song. He was like, I licensed the Guns N' Roses song, and I was like, oh, cool, cool, cool. And I just like liked the tweet, but it just said just a Guns N' Roses song. It didn't say what song it was. I was just like, all right, cool. And then, like the next tweet, he said, as of this weekend, we're going to start using November Rain to hype up Full Gear. And I was like, what? Like, wait, what? Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, that's the Guns N' Roses song you got? That was that one? I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, I can't wait.
The song I'm okay with. I'm still iffy on November to Remember.
No, I'm almost 98.9% that WWE owns November to Remember. I'm
Yes.
almost sure that they do. So I want to see how this plays out. Like I definitely want to see it because I swear that they still own the trademark to that. But if they don't, I mean, good on him for using it because he's not using it for a show. He's just calling the ECW, I mean not the EC, the AEW shows that are happening November to Remember.
Okay.
So yeah, good play on him. So NXT started off with Julia and Stephanie Vaquer versus Jakara Jackson and Last Legend. How did you like this match?
It was good. I actually liked it. Like Jakara and Legend, they're doing so well as a tag team. They need a run. They need a run
Yeah,
eventually.
they're really good. So I have to point this out because I would be remiss if I didn't. There was something that was going on in this match, and I'm just looking at it, and I was like, part of me was like, I don't know if anybody else is paying attention, which a lot of people weren't paying attention because it was like even some of the pure wrestling like enthusiasts was like they weren't paying attention to some of this stuff, and I was like, hmm, like maybe I'm watching too hard or like paying attention way too hard because there was a lot of times in this match where Stephanie Vaquer was lost. Like she was waiting to do something or like about to do something and stopping. And I know it was mostly because of the language barrier, but she was kind of lost a couple times in this match, and I was like, oh shit, like the fuck is going on here?
Hopefully they handle that.
No, it will because like I've saw like other people who like are not total late language speakers like get through it eventually, but Stephanie was like kind of noticeable for me. It was like, like, and the thing is, like, I've seen her in matches, and she's like never had this problem. And I think one of the other reasons why she's having this problem is because WWE structures matches as like, yo, you have to do this, 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 hit this mark, hit this mark, hit this mark. and she doesn't want to fuck up and miss hitting this mark.
Yeah,
And she's not purely comfortable with like taking 100% direction, and she doesn't like communicate well. So that's what I think it is. But like over time, I think she'll get better at it. Like in a one-on-one match, she's perfectly fine. She doesn't have this. This is a tag team match with multiple people, and everybody isn't speaking the same language, and they're not on the same cue. So that's why it's like it's acceptable, but I do see it.
cool.
So after the match, they're interviewing them, and they're like, "Hey guys, you two could be going for the championship in the Iron Survivor thing." And they're like, "Yeah, we're not in this yet." I'm like, "Yeah, but you could be." And they're like, "Yeah, but we're not." But okay.
I was kind of
Right.
upset because like they kind of teased the breakup way too quick, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was like really dumb, and I'm like, they're not in it. Like they don't even have a match to qualify in it. What are you talking about? Like it pissed me off that they said that, and I was like, this really stupid.
Funny part,
So
what
yeah,
if they don't even have qualifiers?
I don't think they will because like if I'm not mistaken, I think something happened later on where it was like a little tease of them doing something on the pay-per-view as a tag team. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be there. But all right. So then we had a qualifying match that was Cora Jade versus Sol Ruka.
Good match.
Yeah. No, it was a good match, but yeah, I really went into this going, oh, Cora Jade's gonna win this. And Sol Ruka hit her with the Soul Snatcher, and I was like, the fuck?
She literally snatched her fucking soul.
Yes. So then we had Cedric Alexander and Javon Evans, and they're talking to each other because Cedric had a match later on, and they're walking by, and then we see Dion Lennox and Kamra Petrovic, and he's talking to her. And if you pay attention, Dion is trying to like he's trying to talk to Kirby, and he's like, "Yo." He even asked her what's her favorite color, and he's trying to get her, and she just goes off on this whole, "Oh, Ashanti knows my favorite color," blah 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 blah. And it's just like, okay, that's not what I asked you. So then Brendan Reese comes up and is like, "Hey, what you guys talking about?" And then Ashanti come up and is like, "Man, what are you doing? We're supposed to be best friends." And Dion was like, "Wait, we're best friends? When did that happen?" Yo, it was so funny. So Brittany Reese was like, "You know what would work? If we did a mixed tag match." And Dion's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" So all of a sudden, they make a Shanti Adonis and Cover Petrovic versus Dion Lennox and Brendan Reese. I don't know why, but I fucking enjoy this. This story is for me. I love this.
Same. Do you eventually see, and like, if they do it, they're probably gonna break up quick too. Dion and Ashanti as a tag team, like a regular tag team.
No, I don't. But I do see Dion getting Comer Petrovic.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunately for him.
like at the end of this, he's gonna wind up with her, and they're gonna be a couple, and that's gonna piss Ashanti off, and he's gonna hate him.
Yeah,
So yeah, like that. Like it's so weird how they're actually like working people into the story, and it's like these people just like exist, and you're like, oh, whatever, they don't exist, and they just keep getting like months ago, like Dion Lennox didn't mean shit, and they just like massaged him into the story, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
I didn't even know his name when he first showed up.
Exactly, and like this is what I mean with like NXT, it just feels so different. So then they had Ava, and Ava's have holding a tag team conference with all the tag teams, and she's like, "Yo, I need a challenger for the tag team championships. You have Gallus, you have the Family, you have Tank and Hake, you have Ty and Ty, you have OTM, you have the No Quarter Catch Crew. That's six tag teams." I'm like, when did we get all these tag teams?
like you mentioned the no quarter catch crew. Another one that showed up out of nowhere. Well, both of them actually, for real.
Dude, I was shocked because I'm like, the funny part was like, none of these tag teams were just like all of a sudden out of nowhere where they like, oh hey guys, hey we have tag teams. Ty and Ty, they've been on the show. They talked to fucking Nikita Lyons a couple weeks ago. OTM, they're on with fucking Jada Parker. Fucking Tank and Hank, they're doing everything on the show. The family is with Tony D'Angelo. Fucking No Quarter Catch Crew is the No Quarter Catch Crew. And Gallus just exists as a tag team. And it's like all of these tag teams fucking exist. They've been here for a while. It's not nothing new where they're like, oh, we're just gonna ham fist a bunch of tag teams. And the funny part is nobody paid attention to Josh Briggs in the back. Like Josh Briggs was standing there and he left. And I was like, huh, who's Josh Briggs gonna get as a tag team partner? Huh. So then we had an Iron Survivor qualifier with Cedric Alexander versus Wesley.
Not a
This
good
was a good
match.
match.
Yeah.
This was a good match. But the thing that stuck out to me and made me go, what the fuck, was Cedric Alexander's gear. Because he had Jacksonville Jaguar gear. And Tony Khan owns Jacksonville Jaguars. And I was like, that's weird. And if he didn't re sign a contract, I would have been like, yeah, he's going to go to AEW. But he re signed a contract and it's just weird.
Recently, who?
Yeah. I was like, okay. So I was expecting Cedric to win, but Wesley won. And after the match, Cedric tweeted out, was like, yo, something's got to change. I'm tired of this. So we're getting a heel turn from Cedric, which is perfectly fine for me.
I want to see him like be a leader of a group. If not by himself, yeah, leader of a group.
I would not be shocked if that happened, but I'm glad that they're bringing him down here and putting him on television and making him feel special.
Yes.
Like he's not just some guy and it's like, oh, we believe in Cedric. Cedric's good. Cedric deserves to be here.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So then we had Tony D'Angelo, and he gets approached by Sean Spears, and Sean Spears says, "I need a shot at that title." And Tony's like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "You know what? Jensen's gonna get a shot at the title." I was like, "What? Wait, what?" I
I
was
thought
so
you just said
confused.
you wanted it.
That's exactly what happened. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So they get in a car with somebody, I forgot his name, who is a wrestler, and he's a new up and coming wrestler. So apparently he's part of the new Sean Spears faction, which
I ain't
I'm
gonna
still
lie. I
surprised.
could have sworn dude said it was Akam from fucking AOP.
No, his name is far from Akam. I forgot his name, but it was far from Akam. So then we have Kalani Jordan, and she's in the back, and she's talking about how she's gonna beat the shit out of Fallon Henley. And JC Jane and Jasmine Nix was like, "Yeah, but you got to deal with all of us. Haha, you're not gonna win."
Yay.
So yeah. So Trick comes out. And Trick starts talking about how he had so much fun in ECW and he slipped and fell and lost the Ridge. And so as he's talking, Mr. Chase comes out. So Trick says, "Yo, I've always liked you, Mr. Chase. You know what? I might give you a shot at the NXT World Championship." And then Ridge comes out and like, "I pinned you. I deserve a shot at the title." So Trick says, "Why don't next week you two fight? The winner gets a shot at the title." So Mr. Chase says, "You know what? If you beat me, Ridge, I'll end Chase U." And at that moment, I was like, well, Chase U's fucked now.
Basically.
Because, like, I would be fucking shocked if Chase beats Ridge. Like it's over.
If he does, yeah, fire Ridge now. Fire Ridge now.
Yes,
Fire him
yes.
anyway, but yeah.
So we get a Jada Parker promo, and she says she's coming for somebody. I don't know who she's coming for, but she's going to. I feel like she's going to wind up facing Fallon Henley for the championship, and that would be great.
I'm okay with
And
that.
she,
Didn't she have
yeah,
beef with them at one point?
she did, and I
Okay.
think that's what's going to happen. They're going to rekindle the beef, and that's going to be a thing. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That works for me.
Yeah.
So then we have Briggs, and Briggs shows up, and he's like, yo, I want to be in this tag team match. And he has Yoshiki Ishimori from Noah, which I read that he was coming over to NXT, but I didn't know they were going to throw him in a storyline. And Briggs was like, yo, when I was over at Noah, he was cool as shit, and me and him could be a tag team together. And Ava was like, you know what? That could work. And then all of a sudden, Eddie Thorpe was like, yo, I've been trying to get your attention for weeks. Yo, can you talk to me? And she was like, Eddie, I'm in the middle of something. Go away. And I'm just like, what the fuck does he want to talk to her about? And how has this been weeks? Because last week was the only week we saw this. What is happening? It was so weird. So then we got Adriana Rizzo versus Nikita Lyons because Nikita Lyons was the one who attacked her. And Rizzo gets beat by Nikita Lyons. But after the match, Adriana Rizzo grabs a crowbar and hits Nikita Lyons in the back of the head and knocks her out.
I like that. It made perfect sense for her.
It made perfect sense, but also it was so confusing to me because it was like, okay, you got your revenge, but you killed a woman.
It's not revenge until they're dead.
Apparently. So then we have Mr. Chase talking to Chase U, and he's like, guys, trust me on this. He's like, I'm going to save Chase U, and I'm going to make sure you guys don't go nowhere. And I'm like, dude, they're fucked. They're fucked.
I feel like they're all gonna turn on him.
I hope they do because, like, you didn't have to put the whole Chase U up. You could have just said, no, I'm just going to go for the title. You said, fuck it, I'm putting Chase U up. God damn it.
Thea even said it, like, dude, you're gambling us again. Like, what the fuck?
That was funny. So then we had a Zarya promo, and Zarya was talking about how she beat Roxanne Perez. And she said, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to take that championship from you. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I was like, pretty much, pretty much.
Yeah.
So then we had Lexis King versus Javon Evans, qualifier for the Iron Survivor, and Javon Evans beat Lexis King. And Lexis King had an opportunity to do something bad, but he hesitated, and that's how Javon got him.
He better snap out real fucking quick. King, that is.
Oh, he will. Like I see it coming, and he's definitely going to be the loose cannon. Like he's going to be the new loose cannon, and it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
So then we get Fraxium in the back, and they're talking, and all of a sudden Nathan Frazier goes, "Dude, next week I'm gonna be the Irish Survivor qualifier," and Axum's like, "Dude, what the fuck? Like we went through this already. Why can't we just get on the same page?" And he was like, "Listen, me amigo, I'm just gonna do what you did." And he's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And then OTM steps up to Axiom by himself because Nathan Frazier walks away. And then the family jumps up and they're like, yo, we're going to be the one to take the championships. And they just start fighting.
At that point,
So
I'll forfeit the tag team titles. Like, I'm done with you, dog.
I have, like, The weirdest thing about this is every time they beef, it's like, oh, they're gonna break up and lose the title. But they wind up keeping the titles and getting stronger. And I feel like that's gonna be their dynamic. They're just gonna keep beefing with each other and they're just gonna keep winning and there's just gonna be no end to this.
You know, the funny part, now that you said that out loud, they're gonna lose the titles and break up.
I hope not. So then we get Dion and Ashanti, and Dion's like, "Listen, dog, I'm not trying to step on your toes. Like I was trying to help you out." And Ashanti goes, "All right, well, then next week I know what you should do." And it's like, okay, all right. So then Lexus King is upset, and he's talking to Dante Chin and Hank and Tank, and they're like, "Dude, just stick in there. You can be a good guy. There's nothing wrong with it." Then Gallus shows up, and Hank and Tank and Gallus start fighting. I was like, okay. So then we get to the main event: Kalani Jordan versus Fallon Henley for the championship. This match is going. It's going pretty good. Kalani knocks off Jasmine next. She punches JC Jane. And the match looks like she's about to win, but JC recovers, punches Kalani. Kalani gets knocked down. Fallon Henley hits her finisher. 1, 2, 3. Fallon keeps the title. I was like, I knew this was going to happen because it was too quick for Fallon to lose the title, but shit. So the women leave. OTM comes out. They start talking shit. Then the family comes out. Then Gallus comes out. Then Tank and Hank come out. And then all the tag teams just start fighting and beating the shit out of each other.
Wonder what kind of matches are gonna be. Like, is it all six teams or whatever, or some type of tournament?
I think it's going to be a tournament because I feel like there's more than 6 teams. There's more than 6 teams. And because remember, Briggs has a team too. So I feel like there's going to be more than 6 teams. It's going to be very weird. And everybody's like, I'm not going to lie, everybody's going to wind up liking it. Like, I don't know how we get to the end, but it's going to be fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like this is going to be so random and weird that, like, because we have so many tag teams, we're going to get to the point where it's going to be like, oh, this guy could win. This guy could win. This team could win. Wait, no, this team can win. Oh shit, this team can win. And it's gonna be so fucking fucked up that we're just gonna be all into it, and then somebody's gonna win the tag titles. Because I have this weird feeling like they're going to go against the tag champions, and somehow they're gonna get screwed. They're not gonna be like, oh, we lost on purpose because we were fighting. We would lost on purpose because of this. They're gonna get screwed somehow. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna get screwed and they're gonna lose the tag titles, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, they're done. They're gonna break up. They're gonna break up." One or two things are gonna happen. They're either going to go back for the tag titles, or they're gonna get called up as a tag team
Okay.
because, like, next year, SmackDown's going to 3 hours. Raw is apparently going to 3 hours. No one can confirm that, but it looks like everything's going to 3 hours next year.
Please, Raw, go back to 3 hours. Please.
Yeah, because it sucks at 2 hours.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Russell Votes confirmed today that we're not just going to have one Saturday night main event, which is going to be the one in December. Russell Votes said January 25th, we're going to have another Saturday night's main event. Here's the thing about the Saturday night main event: it's 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble. And my mind immediately went back to the old days of Saturday night's main events being before a pay-per-view. And it's like, ooh, if they do some stuff that they used to do, it would be fun. because what they used to do is they would have something happen on Saturday Night Main Event, like they'll have a match and a title would change, and you'd be like, oh shit, not the big titles, but like a tag title or the IC title, and you'd be like, oh shit, that happened on Saturday Night Main Event,
Yeah.
and then you get to the pay per view, and a title would change back, but it would happen on Saturday Night Main Event to just like fuck you up, and you're like, what? And then we get to the pay per view, and it changes back, and you're like, oh okay, that makes sense. So yeah, no, I'm cool with that.
Same.
So yeah, like that's what's going on with things. So, any last words as we wrap this up?
Solo, I love.